Coming up next, Infamous versus vgj.thunder.
I absolutely love the artwork on this show. Welcome back. It is I, Red Eye. We are back for the last two series with a brand new panel as well, although one's been here all day himself, moaning about all sorts of things like Mirana and poorly placed wards and God knows what else. I'm sure he's going to be equally upset with our next matchup, which we move on to. It's the elimination match in this particular group. Infamous, who come into this with a little bit of form recently as well. They had a top 4 finish, of course, at GESC as well. They go head-to-head with vgj.thunder after being beaten by Optic in the opening game. Our panel is a star-studded lineup. We've got Trent, we've got Black, and we've got Suns fan as well. How you doing?
I just want to say that that artwork is by far the most accurate one so far for Pepita. That is exactly what he looks like in real life.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we played some basketball games. The guy is, he's a monster, total monster. If he only knew how the backboard worked, he would be amazing if he knew how to bank the ball.
He gets every rebound. Yeah. I've never seen so many people, or somebody get so many rebounds, but airball so many layups as well. Pretty impressive.
I need a translator here.
Yes.
They're speaking a language I don't understand.
The ball thingy didn't hit the hoop thingy at all.
Right, okay. I thought that was you were supposed to throw it in the hoop.
Yeah, exactly. That is the goal.
Right, so he wasn't throwing it.
Right,
okay.
It wasn't like the swish kind of not hitting the hoop. It was the kind where it's outside the rim.
What's all this backboard stuff as well? What's that about? You just throw
it just helps.
Oh, does it? Oh, okay. I thought that was cheating if you bounced it off the back.
Not when you're up close.
Right, okay.
Yeah, okay, then it's allowed.
Not if you're tall.
Can we get back to stuff I kind of do know something about, a little bit about? This Infamous match versus vgj.thunder. In some ways, you look at it and you just go, well, that's a dead rubber then. Let's move on. vgj.thunder won that really easily. But Infamous have been playing quite well recently.
I've used up all my underdog magic this year on Pain. Yeah.
On
Pain took it all. Like, they have absorbed it all from the entire region. There's none left for Infamous. I'm sorry.
All right.
Like, listen,
but
good luck.
Infamous did beat them.
Yeah,
in the qualifiers.
Exactly.
No, they didn't. They didn't play in the qualifiers.
It said 2-1. I sure didn't watch those games, but I see 2-1.
I will trust you.
That's what Wikipedia
But either
said.
way, yeah, it's just wrong. Oh, that's right. That was the last one I was casting.
What
Sorry.
qualifiers again?
Apologies.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, I've just had so many.
Yeah, exactly. Trent's been doing so many qualifiers,
yes.
he's forgotten which ones he's done. So.
Yeah. I don't know. The underdog thing, it's always a good story, though, because especially with South America, because they really haven't shown almost anything until Pain's super recent success, but a lot of people are just attributing that to format or lack thereof from some recent tournaments going on, right?
I mean, I watched them. I thought they played really well at that tournament. I think they've stepped up their game, and obviously Weeha has made a massive difference to that team as well. You're a man who've played in a team that were, all Chinese, obviously, and you went in as a slightly different version of something that they didn't have before, and it made them better, right?
I mean, it's usually like that kind of player is like an X factor. People can't really prepare for them. You're new in the region. He brings in something new from another region, and you just can't really prepare for it. So for a long while, until they get used to it, you're going to have this advantage.
Right. So you just spammed anti-mage all the time in Voca, and the Chinese just didn't know what to do.
No, what happened in VG, they 4-make space, and I just finished the game for them. It's like
for them. It's like a blessing.
No, it's like I'm the LeBron.
Did you just say you're welcome at the end of every game?
It's like they give me everything, and I'm like, okay, I'll take it, and then I go.
Okay.
And they say, let's go. And they build like all the support items and everything.
So kind.
Just let me do my thing.
You know, I'm glad you're on the panel. I wanted to ask you, because I've had a lot of conversations about this in the past. The whole South American scene, right? Like Weeha obviously going over as a foreigner. You guys, Team Tinker, let's be honest, it was a complete disaster. But the idea is sound. Taking a team, collection of players that play outside that region, moving to that region and dominating, right? Are you surprised that nobody's done that as a full team to South America? Like, let's say the fringe, like, let's just say Complexity as an example. Just a team like that might not have the best chance of getting out of their regionals, just completely moving location, just temporarily.
I think it would make a lot of sense in regards of like qualifying, but it would definitely hit their reputation a lot, probably. Like,
yeah, if they don't make it, if they do or do not make it.
Yeah. I mean, if they don't make it, then they're like the joke.
Yeah. Which
like the biggest joke ever,
right?
Yeah,
Team
like
Stinker. I know it's tough.
Okay, to be fair, there were a couple of things that went wrong there.
Of course. Just blame
Boba.
Like, yeah,
Boba,
it's fine.
It's Sam Sosaile. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, like you dodge that region, like everyone's like, oh, you dodged this wrong region, go to the like weaker region on paper, and then you lose, and you just lose like a lot. You know, you have a lot to lose, and not that much to gain, because like Pain is a really like capable team, and there's only one team from that region probably going. So
the only reason I bring it up is because in the past we've had like NA was a really bad region for a long time. And then a lot of collection of players from Europe came over, and now NA is extremely strong, very competitive. It's a completely different scene. South America right now, there's
extremely
let's say one
strong. I'm sorry, I just.
All right, what,
I couldn't
all right,
let
when
that
I say
go by.
delete the word strong.
Extremely strong.
Let's say
There's
extremely
only like 3 regions ahead of them.
extremely
strong.
competitive.
I've got a sheet
How about
here,
that?
Shannon.
Okay.
I've got a sheet here. I'd like to share this with you. This is the total amount of points divided per region in the Dota professional.
They've been quite disappointing.
You can cover your ears. You can cover your ears.
China 13,801, the CIS 12,331, Europe 12,016. So all very close, those 3 regions. In 4th place is Southeast Asia with 5,030.
Yeah.
And in 5th is North America with 4,617. Now, I'm just putting facts out there.
Extremely strong.
All right, again, delete the word strong and put competitive, and it makes sense. Okay. And just remember where we were 4 years ago. It wasn't competitive. It was just garbage.
A snail race can be competitive. It doesn't mean that it's like.
All right, that might be a good point, but I'm going to ignore it and continue on with this line of thinking. It's more competitive than it's been in the past. Like, we don't know who's going to win, right? That's one thing.
You can say the same thing about the C region, though. Like, a couple of foreigners went there, and ever since they went there, the region just got like a lot more competitive, just like, as if they helped them grow. Like, we saw Demon go there. I think the C uprise was when Demon went there, and they beat OG at tier 6. At tier 6, and ever since then, like, C was on the rise. And I think it might happen with Southeast, South Africa, South America.
Hey, it could happen in South Africa as well. Don't start down that road.
South America.
And when Australia gets their servers fixed, we'll have an Australian region as well.
Yeah, shout out to the South Africans and the Australians. Anyone who's geographically challenged. I also want to talk about. We have some fun with the PGL guys and the Perfect World guys.
True.
And we put teams into groups. And in vgj Thunder's position that they're in as multiple runners-up, alongside their brothers from VG, who are multiple runners-up, we've decided to put them into a group called the Bridesmaids.
Oh.
And this is the Bridesmaids group, which includes, well, basically VG, and VG.
So it's Ori.
It's the Storm, Thunder, and the normal.
SVG looks
Ori,
incredible.
SVG, and DDC, yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
I think SVG looks really good. I would hit him.
Real nice.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Good. Right. Well, I mean. Okay.
Very good. I know a lot more about Black now.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
They're all winners in our hearts, of course.
Yes.
But obviously, lots of runners-up for these 3 teams. Lots of runners-up for the Chinese teams this year, until LGD sort of hit a good run recently, and Newbie obviously had a good run at the start of the season. So why is it? And why are we also talking about the fact that China's not very good this year? It's supposed to be Year of China.
I think
they've got tons of points. We've already shown they've got more points than any other region, and they've made more finals than any other region.
For vgj Thunder specifically, I think a lot of that comes down to format, honestly. A lot of the times where they made it to the final, it was because of a certain way the format was worked out, single elimination up one side of the bracket, and then they just hit that wall. It's like VP, and it's like 3-0, see ya, get out of here, that kind of stuff.
And there were a lot of Chinese tournaments that were favoring Chinese direct invites as well, because there weren't any actual rules with, you had to have one from each region, but then after that, there wasn't anything specified. So you see a little bit of favoritism from time to time. But, I mean, the Chinese scene is still strong.
But it was mostly for Chinese tournaments, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they were ahead before those tournaments.
But I think...
Why do you keep countering?
Because I want to shut down whatever you say.
Whatever.
But anyway.
But like real talk, right?
Yeah.
I think a big reason why they can't make it all the way is because they lack to adapt. Like, only LGD, PSG can do it, in my opinion. That's why VG and vgj Thunder, they always make it very far, but then they kind of stagnate.
Especially was the big thing, right? Because they were just doing their thing.
Then they stagnate, and they can't adapt to what the enemy is doing, and then they just get like rolled over. That's usually what happens too. It's like not very close in the finals. Usually like a 3-1 or 3-0.
Well, talking of adapting, Infamous are going to have to adapt a little bit here, because they go up against vgj Thunder's IO as the first pick of our first game draft.
All right, so vgj Thunder have won.
No,
it's good to know.
Okay.
There can still be Tree and Lich.
I mean, if Infamous had picked... Oh, that's true. They can always screw
let's not
it
go
up
back
with
to Tree and Lich from yesterday, please.
Oh, that was great.
But
well,
yeah,
they do give a Gyro, though. So.
Naga Gyro are very strong against IO. The sleep setup, the Gyro AoE damage. 2 solid answers to a Wisp already.
A little bit surprising they didn't go for maybe the Disruptor, obviously one of the biggest classics of all time against the IO, but
Get it
maybe
with Naga
just,
as well.
yeah, exactly. Maybe just not feeling that comfortable with it. Maybe they're just going to save it, might want a different support. Like, there's still Jakiro too, so maybe they want to keep their options open, and they really wanted that gyro.
They might also not want to give the gyro away, because gyro wisp is incredible. You give him that free X,
Oh, it's
and it's
gross.
just like a free farming mechanic for him.
We talked about Disruptor the last few days. It feels like he's either completely ignored. How do they do that during the draft? Is the question. Is that possible to do?
They figured it out. Yeah.
Okay.
It
The
is.
technology
Totally
is there,
possible.
but Disruptor,
were
it feels
saying?
like his win percentage is pretty insane, at least from the games that I've seen. But then some games he is completely ignored, and I don't understand why.
There's the Jakiro.
Why is his win rate so high?
Well, that's just an assumption, by the way. I'm making up stats
Wait,
as
is
we
that
speak.
his win rate here, the 55%? This tournament?
Yeah, it's
or-
out of control.
Oh no,
That's
it's from
all
all
DPC
these
That's
games.
for
games.
1,000
all
games.
DPC
That's pretty
games.
okay.
55% is really high.
It's like 7
For a first phase hero,
It's
often
really
as well.
high, yeah. But why is he so good? He has teamfight control. His laning is not bad. The Thunder Strike is quite good.
And he,
It's like a, what, 160 damage over one?
yeah, I think a lot of these heroes that you look at to like win the game, he counters. Like if you think of like a Morphling or something that comes out later in the draft, it's just like Static Storm. Or
Static Storm,
it doesn't matter
Glimpse.
who that hero is that like wants to win the game. Static Storm's always going to be an answer.
Unless you like run into like a lifesteal or whatever, but
Yeah.
these heroes are not very competitive right now. Because you run all these Razors and Nagas that counter them way too hard.
Well, we talked about the possibility of the Jakiro there. It'll be taken for vgj Thunder though. So already into the support pairing. Not a lot of catch on the support pairing, but they already know one of the cores, and they taking away a little bit of that team fight there. And of course, they instantly ban the Disruptor. So we're going to find a different friend for Naga Siren in this game.
Not Disruptor, please. Anyone but
What,
him.
what else is there to support? Jakiro's gone. Disruptor's gone.
We're seeing a second phase Bloodseeker. Man, Bloodseeker is really coming out of the woodwork this tournament.
Yeah, but right now it doesn't look amazing.
It doesn't. It doesn't matter, though. It's
just
just the
pick it.
fear of the hero. No, it got banned. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, they got banned.
There's
Just
no,
the fear of that hero.
There's no Bane ban here.
Yeah, it's still solid.
that's
Doesn't
true,
really
yeah.
pair well with the Naga in that
No.
traditional sense, but you
But
can
it's-
also just
it's-
let your cores pair.
Yeah.
I mean, last game we just saw the, what was it? Naga, Marana, Bane, all three together. Just
Yep.
Very good.
It's just very an old school type setup lineup, right?
That's a Marana Drow Storm game. I get very excited when you get those three in a game, let alone on one team.
Yeah. Drow just stays in the jungle and gives everybody damage. He doesn't need to do anything.
That's
that
what he
game.
did. He got level 6 to farm jungle.
Yeah.
And then when the team fight is won, he's like, okay, I'm coming to push the tower,
Here I
guys.
come, guys.
Hi guys, I'm here.
Yeah, that was something.
You a Drow player, Black? Feels like in that game you would have been a great Drow player.
I think so too. I would definitely like feed a lot, maybe more than him.
No,
But I would provide
Did
the
he
aura.
feed? I don't think he.
No,
wouldn't.
he fed quite a bit.
Black wouldn't feed though, would he?
That's
Because
true.
he'd be in the lane farming.
He would
when
be
there was
way
nothing
less
to do.
involved. Like,
I would
Way more
probably be
passive
like
than that,
top
yeah.
1 net worth, like
yeah.
running that Axe Mjolnir.
Rest of the team losing, but you
But then I
looking
come
good.
in
Yeah.
and I VG them.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh man.
Exactly.
Oh
Wow,
man.
it's a verb now. This is excellent. I'm
VG
learning
people.
so
VG
much on this panel. Your boy, what was the Ember? I heard you when I was casting.
I love Ember.
What was
I don't know
the
why they
Chinese?
didn't pick it up. Hua Mao.
Oh.
Fire Cat.
It sounds like that.
Fire Cat.
Yeah, anyway.
Fire Cat.
That's nice.
That sounds like a good nickname to me.
Why
Why do you go with that?
Well, because
Congratulations.
there's something
Can we call
called
Pie Cat
Hua
that
Mao
now?
TV. It's like
Yeah.
a streaming website.
Yeah, I noticed that. And that is what it means.
Fire Cat TV.
Ah, there you go.
By the way,
Interesting.
Naga Siren, never forget the last pick Enigma offlane.
Fair point.
Okay.
But nobody's running it. I don't know why.
That's the big core combo.
It is really strong,
Yeah.
actually.
Not something Stinger runs particularly for Infamous either.
No. Of course, a South American classic, though, a little bit there. Tavo Enigma. Always a winner
Tavo
for that.
Enigma.
But, okay, there we
Come
go.
from Witch Doctor,
That's
so that's,
decent.
Witch
yeah,
Doctor,
so another
really good
meta.
against IO2, of course.
Yeah.
Gives lane sustainability because they're expecting some
Jakiro
aggro
+1
shenanigans.
or IO
Yeah.
+1. Somewhat irritating. There is still the Beastmaster. If vgj Thunder wanted to do that in terms of like the annoying dual offlane with the IO, that's a pretty classic pressure.
Really strong versus Gyro as well.
Yeah.
BKB piercing disable, very important.
10 seconds remaining.
Beastmaster would definitely be very
Yeah,
good.
not the best win rate on the Witch Doctor
44%.
over the entire season, but it has been picked a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's poor nerfs.
I mean, ever since that
Yeah.
melodic change, people, you just have to adapt. It's not the same hero anymore.
Yeah.
It's a defensive support now that just meant to like stabilize your lane rather than killing the offlane hero.
Oh.
Yeah.
Doombringer.
That's my boy.
He's bringing the doom.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I mean, he did get some nerfs. What was the base damage from?
Yeah, the bonus damage from Infernal Blade is removed.
Yeah, I actually thought.
Well, not removed,
that it
right? Just a capped at 25.
Yeah.
So the way that
Yeah.
it works is each damage instance has that
Yeah.
base damage attached to
It's
it, right?
always
Yeah.
25 plus a certain percentage.
Right.
10
Okay.
seconds remaining.
But honestly, it's
So
not
it
that
adds
big.
up.
It's like
I mean,
it's like 5, 10, 15 per tick. It's like 60 damage level 4. It is a bit, but not that much, you know.
Right.
Like if you have like 2k HP, you still take like 500 damage.
Right.
It's also it's got a poor record with Yang in the last 3 months. He's only won once with the Doom.
Really?
Out of
Out of 3, only 3 games played on it as well. It's almost his worst hero in the last 3 months, other than Sand King, by the way, which currently he is 1-7 on.
But to be fair,
in the last 3 months, which is really weird.
when Doom was like on the rise, VG didn't really play a lot of tournaments, so that's probably why they didn't like pick it more.
Yeah, they have been missing for a little while.
Mirana, here we go.
Man, this
Mirana
hero
again. That's 4 times today, I think.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
Instantly picked into the DK, though.
DK is incredible versus Mirana only. He can't last hit. It's actually going to be very tough for him. You can't bully the DK. You hit for like, what, 20 damage maybe?
Yeah, it's like nothing.
Yeah, you heal more than you actually take
He
damage.
gets a Quelling Blade, and it's just like, all right.
You fire breath him, he has like 40 base damage.
But they literally just picked that. It was like an instant pick.
Yeah, right after the Mirana.
Yeah.
So they don't care.
They probably don't care about the Mirana.
Chinese are super confident.
But Naga...
Wait, why are we seeing so much Mirana? Is it just the leap buff that we saw? Was it 20 extra attack?
I think she was on the edge, too.
Yeah, I think, yeah. It's like...
She was like kind of okay.
It's one of those things. He was really good already, but people just didn't pick it, and now like LGD is showing how strong it is, and they were like, oh yeah, we can play the hero too.
Well, they do have Ensnare, right? That's an easy setup song as well.
But what LGD did, what they didn't do, they banned the DK when they picked Mirana, because this is a very, very bad matchup for him.
Yeah. Not going to be
probably
very
like
enjoyable.
7-3, 8-2, something like that.
So who's the IO duo going to be?
Well,
Who's
Doom IO,
left?
most likely.
Oh, they're not
In
going to
lane,
go
Or
for...
you mean for the carry later?
Yeah, for the
on?
carry later.
There might be a Luna.
She just got
Oh,
banned.
Luna just got banned.
But
Never
obviously,
mind.
yeah, she's the big one.
Gyrocopter is already in the other team.
Oh, what do you guys think? How does Slark match? I mean, he's really good against Mirana, but what about the rest of the heroes?
Slark owns everyone except Naga.
Right.
But if you get slapped and arrowed, you die.
Yeah.
It's a bit
Little
scary.
bit of an issue. Yeah, that whole thing. But,
But against Gyro, Mirana...
I mean, you can say that about anybody, though, right? Song
true.
into arrow.
It's like Chrono. It's like Doom. It's like Doom counters every hero.
But the thing is, Slark kind of wants to be there, you know? So that's kind of like why you say counter him.
Right.
He doesn't really go BKB early. You don't want to go BKB early. Razor banned out.
I remember back in the day when IO had like 3 heroes that he would go or be duo
like
with. Now it's
tiny
literally anybody. You can put any,
Tiny
just pick,
CK.
just random a hero, it'll probably be fine.
I like the Razor band, though, because I think they were worried about a lane mix-up where they would have just like moved the Mirana to like a dual off lane with the Naga, and they would have just sent the Razor mid versus the DK.
Very
So
good.
they're trying to force that matchup.
I will argue with you a little bit. Don't put the eye over the Spirit Breaker. That didn't work. I think that was infamous as well, or Pain. It was one of the South American
Does
teams.
Tether get the same move speed as Charge?
Yeah.
So the way they worked it was they basically used the Spirit Breaker to chip away at all of the minions, and then
Was it
the
before
IO
the
would take the last hit, and it was just like, what? I don't even understand what I'm watching.
Was it before the patch or after the new IO?
It was before.
Because I'm pretty sure right now, if you tether him when he charges, you have the same speed.
I
right?
It was like about a month
so.
ago, so it was 2 patches ago, I want to say.
Two
Makes
patches ago.
sense.
I think
Yeah.
that was already the new IO, was it?
I'm not saying it's a great combo, just to throw it out there. But it's an interesting mechanic if he does get the, what is it, like 600 move speed or whatever.
Yeah,
it is.
700 max.
As you like level it.
A safe lane Spirit Breaker with IO.
Carry
farming.
Carry
Okay,
breaker.
that's just horrendous.
You're just not
But
open to new
but
ideas,
the,
man.
The Wisp was the farmer, and I was just like,
They're gonna go for somewhat a
this
hard
is-
carry.
Oh,
for sure.
not the Spirit Breaker?
not the Spirit Breaker.
Well, so
Lane.
safe
Safe
lane
lane
DK.
DK.
Huh.
Okay.
That is
Alright.
so weird because I thought DK is completely gonna destroy this Mirana.
Yep. Take him out.
I mean, to be fair, Lina is also good, but he's also very scared of the Naga rotation. You get netted, you get arrowed, you die. DK doesn't care.
No, that is
Does
also
Infamous
true.
have enough combo, though, with this Naga song? Are they too reliant on that?
I mean,
Well,
that,
they have
that
an
Enigma
arrow.
looks so good right now, though.
I
There's
think
no
Enigma's really
BKB
good.
cancel.
Yeah, other than the Doom.
Yeah, and of course,
You
pretty
can
hard
get
to
like a
land.
net.
5
But
seconds
yeah.
remaining.
So where do Infamous go then?
I like, if it was Pain, I think Enigma.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's not Pain, so not Enigma.
Yeah, Tavo Enigma now would be great with them.
It might still be a dual off-lane Mirana, and they can pick something good against the Lina mid. I personally love Invoker, but nobody else shares
I mean, they're
it.
very.
Love.
what a surprise! They're very reliant on this Mirana Naga.
That's the only like
Yeah.
2 reliable setups
Yeah.
they have. Or stuns, rather.
I feel like you're going to pick like a Viper or something, like some
No,
Razor-esque
no.
hero. I know it's gross,
a hero
but
that doesn't care about being
But-
doomed,
yeah.
perhaps.
But then you still put the Mirana against DK, is that what you want to do still?
No, I think you put the Viper mid, and well, you'd have to send them Mirana versus DK. That's true, but at least it's in like a side lane. It's like a little bit different. You can like pull the creeps apart. You don't get as like completely brutalized in terms of like the matchup.
Bad Rider, of course. How do we forget about that? They have 0 save. And it actually owns DK safe lane.
Well, to be fair, the hero's pretty dead. Like, Batrider is not picked a lot right now, and he tends to have some pretty rough games. Like, it has to be really well coordinated. He's definitely not as OP as he used to be, but he doesn't have that lane matchup that you're, like, scared of. There's no Juggernaut to spin off. There's no Purge or anything, so the sticky Napalm's going to be scary.
All 3 core matchups are actually really good for the Batrider.
Yeah.
So, however they want to change the lanes, it's not going to be good for them.
Yeah, I saw it a couple of times yesterday, and it didn't stand out.
That was from VG, right? 11 played it twice, I believe. They won 1 game, lost 1 game.
Yeah. That's kind of one of his classic heroes.
I was really disappointed by he played because they last picked the Batrider. He had a really good game. He just couldn't make it work.
No, I think the hero's really tough right now. Like, he's fallen to a point now where he's not first phase banned. So we're going to start to see him at the very least, but he's still difficult to work in, and because of that, I'm still going to go with LGD.
So you don't believe in the last pick ban?
Nope.
So you're going for LGD, but they're not playing in this game.
Yes,
that is correct.
Sorry,
it's astonishing.
They are that good. Have you seen them?
Good. They're going to win this game as well.
So I'm going to go for PSG, VGJ, LGD Thunder.
Okay.
VG Jeremy Lin, VG Jack.
I will have to go with VG. I think is 100% broken. He's the best hero in the entire game. I don't know how teams keep giving it up.
His pairing's pretty weak this game, though.
I don't disagree, but the carry IO, like Red Eye just said.
God.
Anything is possible.
I disagree with you.
How I'm going to disagree with you no matter what you say. IO's not the best hero in the game.
Okay, so Sunsfan is going for VGJ Thunder Black.
Yeah.
I believe VGJ Thunder is going to win, but I'm going for the other team, Infamous. Because they have a lot of answers.
I think we leave it there because we've now got a prediction from all 3 panelists and they've all picked a different team. I don't even know how that's possible right now. But let's head to our commentators for some, proper stuff now as we head into game number 1. Enjoy.
Thank you very much, Red Eye. Yes, the game 1 now coming up of Infamous versus VGJ Thunder. I'm Eddie Pixel. I'm here with Fog, and we're going to be taking you through this best of 3 series. What do we reckon then, Fog, looking at the 2 drafts so far? Would you sort of agree with the panel that VGJ Thunder as a whole looks a little stronger off the back of these picks?
That LGD stronger? Or that EG stronger? Just throwing a couple different teams. Yeah, I mean, they've got the IO, right? They've got IO. They do have a save mechanic. That's the one thing I was going to mention about what the panel was talking is the Batrider can do well if there's no save mechanic, but there's the IO, right? A target gets lassoed, you can instantly try to go for that relocate save. So Thunder does have the potential to try to save if targets do get lassoed, but they have some cool combos on Infamous. It's not only the Naga sleep into the arrow, it's also the Batrider lasso into the arrow. So they could make it work, but Thunder, I mean, come on, you got to sign with the IO, right?
We'll see what Fade is going to be able to pull out on his IO this game.
That's what I'm talking about.
As sort of translating, in terms of sort of offensive, not a lot of these sort of classic IO sort of comboing heroes, but a lot of heroes that are already very tanky. The Doom, the DK, and you add an IO into that, these are going to be heroes that are probably not going to die if they get gone upon.
It's going to be really hard, and it's also, I mean, the IO versus the Witch Doctor matchup too. Sure, Witch Doctor in a way can do very well versus him, but you can counteract the Maledict if you can heal your teammates with it, so that can be nice, and it's, we're going to be talking a lot about IO for this game for sure, but Infamous, they do claim themselves 3 runes, and they are going to be doing this dual lane coming out here, as we have learned to love it. They want this Witch Doctor paired versus that IO. And we'll have the Mirana versus the DK mid matchup.
Okay.
So DK more than likely will have an advantage in this one. If you're going to be able to hit your Breathe Fires, that damage reduction should be able to affect Mirana quite hard. Mirana's not really the greatest animation.
Yeah, we'll see how much Sylar gets. Indeed, in terms of the lead against Pepita and what sort of rotations come through. As was mentioned, there is that Naga Siren setup. The DK, definitely the core that's a lot less worried about that sort of play happening. Top lane getting very aggressive onto Stinger. They just
ditched Stinger bottom. They're putting a full defensive tri-lane here for Infamous, and it's a Lina off lane. I don't think you see that too often. They have great heroes now to kill the missile when they try to go for an aggressive play on bottom, though. If they do set it out, Lina, highest attack range in the game, you're going to be able to get your fiery soul stacks. You can kill that missile by yourself for the most part. But they do have a lot of damage between this tri-lane of Infamous.
Matthew starting to wrap around DDC, getting the slow and damage out onto Excel. Matthew just trading hits with DDC. DDC actually taking quite a bit of damage here with that Riptide. Will back himself away, but certainly, as you say, the Lina potentially very vulnerable in this bottom lane.
Yeah, you can get, I mean, both these 2 heroes can die. When you're playing, I mean, it's a 2v3 with 2 squishy heroes. So it's definitely quite fearsome.
Up top though, vgj, they want to get
Stinger.
aggressive. They know that he's not got any backup. Stinger all alone, and bam, taken down. They chase him out, the two of them. The Doom IO lane proving to be understandably incredibly strong. At the same time, down bottom, the body blocks are there onto Freeze with the Maledict and a Riptide. Infamous will be able to claim a kill in return.
They're going to have to manipulate wave if it's a full tri-lane down bottom. I mean, that's actually exactly what DDC is starting to do. He's pulling the second or third wave down and around so that they can get some experience down there. Yeah, it is awkward for the Lina. You have to have very good positioning down bottom, get those early boots to deal with this. And Excel actually finds a haste rune. DDC in some trouble here. He's going to need help.
He's got Freeze coming over.
The cask.
Axel. Is he going to be able to get away with this? Indeed, with that haste, just
DDC's
slowly
dead,
chipping
right?
down the Jakiro. Axel, indeed, up to the high ground, and the right clicks of the Voodoo Man will do it.
A very fortunate rune.
A hasted Witch Doctor.
They got the wave kind of pulled there for themselves for vgj.thunder down bottom, but they are punished for that. So top lane, as we saw, you know, of course they got the kill on the Batrider. I feel like Stinger's really going to suffer up here. He's going to have to also manipulate the creep wave a lot because he's just going to give them a lot of magic stick charges constantly. So he can't really look to go for too many aggressive kills here up top. He can get turned on very easily.
He's trying
getting
to go
aggressive
fade,
here.
but he's got to be careful with these spirits. Old Stinger. He's got to get himself away. He pops the stick charges, but that right click, one more will do it.
He's popped the Salve.
The Salve's going to get cast to the 10 to the creep to close the gap. Fade.
That's a solo kill.
That's outplaying Stinger. I mean, Stinger kind of outplayed himself.
Bottom, missile, gonna connect onto Freeze.
They can get away with this as they move in with the Rocket Barrage. Freeze and DDC sharing the damage. In comes the IO. Fades there with the backup. The regen to keep Freeze safe for now. Life Strike drops down to hold back the Nargasaren. Won't keep Freeze alive. Freeze still dies to the Maledict tick. DDC also having to be a little careful as well, as he's actually going to get caught out by the net. Again, Fade still in the neighborhood.
He just bought the bottle from the secret shop. He had enough gold from that solo kill up top.
The lane's starting to move around from top to bottom. Now we've ended up with this 3 versus 3 down here. Fade ready to back up DDC and Freeze as they get aggressive onto Minos.
Yang has a lot of sticky stacks up top, but he has the Thunderclap slow, so actually puts the Batrider off. Now it's a full tri-lane down bottom from both teams. How's that mid matchup doing? Yeah, Dragon Knight's winning, as we kind of expected.
Yeah, only slightly though.
Only slightly.
But Peter still very much holding in on his Mirana. We'll see what sort of build he goes for on the Mirana this game.
I think it's just, I think Tread Maelstrom. I think the Maelstrom is just so good with the benefit of that new leap. I mean, even with the old leap. He was on the cusp of, or she was on the cusp of being a hero anyway. So, oh no, I mean, the Batrider's getting a little bit more than this Lina. So there is that trade-off coming out.
Again, maybe looking for a bit of a clash, Matthew. Does have a DD route. He's already doing a lot of damage here to Fade. Oh. Fade will tether across with the missile. Barrage onto Freezes there. Minos falling rather low. Fade trying to get himself out to the side. In fact, Milo, he's in a lot of trouble on the Jara. He will fall. They do get the IO, but they've lost their carry here. Infamous Freeze. Light Strike Ray comes out to hold down Matthew, but the route was there in time. Axel with the Voodoo Restoration, keeping Matthew alive. He can find Freeze. He just needs one more hit. Freeze trying to hide in the trees, but Matthew gets stunned again. Indeed, the Light Strike Array comes through, and that's going to allow Freeze to get out. Freeze will survive. Now they'll look to turn. Matthew tries for the TP out, but again, the Light Strike Array is here from Freeze, making it very hard for Infamous to chase him down.
Are Infamous going to get any rune control here versus IO? It doesn't look like it. I believe Fade's going to be able to fill up the bottle twice here with these two bounties, and he came down and actually fully bottled Freeze up as he TP'd, so this Lina not quite healthy. Tyler, quite low mid. As Juan charges, though, he will be safe.
31 for 4, 30 for 4. Pretty much even now in this mid lane matchup. Papita doing a very good job at holding on with his Mirana against the Dragon Knight.
Oh, look at Fade's play here. Stoning him away from the shrine for a moment until the rest of the backup does come out. Spots out Matthew. They even have that deep ward that they placed from earlier. Fade might get netted into an arrow here. He's got to have a tethered target. Freeze is starting to walk over for it, and he will get in range. Good move by Freeze. Top, the Doom is actually out onto Stinger. Getting chased out here by Yang. Should get brought down quite easily, and he will.
Easy chase down for him. Oh, the deny! It's there! Excel. Very nicely done, Excel, with that 61 right click.
Beautiful.
Gets the timing perfect.
Bottom, Minos. Getting chased down quick.
I do need to find these kills down bottom because Freeze's farm is not too fantastic. He's only 15 for 1 on Lina.
They are slowing down the gyro, though. I mean, that's 2 deaths now. 0-2-3 on Gyrocopter in this early game. Definitely not a great start for him. Sylar as well as Yang both use the Shrine, so they will both be healthy now for the next upcoming moments, and they can actually TP to react to a lot of these movements. I think they can probably make a move on mid with Sylar's Dragon Knight, the DK form. They can look to pressure the tower a bit for Thunder.
Sylar.
Pop it.
Brute fire onto Pepita. Still no rotations towards that mid lane as of yet. Matthew and XL will look to make a change with it. Smoke up.
Ooh, this. Yeah, they're trying to punish the first DK ulti.
Minos, he has been left alone, and in fact, he may be in a lot of trouble. Fade trying to body block him off, but quite be able to control him with the slow from the cooldown. Dragon Slave slightly off the mark as Minos keeps the distance mid lane. Now they'll find the opening. The arrow will not be there to follow up as a range creep will block it. Jump forward though. Pepita still trying for the DDC kill, but he won't get the procs from the Starstorm.
Didn't even have vision on that high ground, didn't even get the single hit. They look like they want to go though. Fade even TP's mid. They want to go for a play here.
See if they can find anything. So vgj Thunders were expected consistently. These cores being backed up by the IO, proving to be very hard for Infamous to open up onto.
Yeah.
That sustain that Fade offers.
Pretty decent first DK ult. About 800 damage on the tower. Tyler should be pretty happy about that one. Now they're making the move up top. Even with the Mirana, Pepita looking to get active.
I can just set up for the lasso.
Should be able to get this one here. Do they have the arrow follow up with the net? It's gonna connect.
It does. There is TP backup coming in, and this Doom's still pretty tanky. Not quite tanky enough. The magical burst is there as the rotation does end up being successful.
Didn't even bother popping his wand charges, save them for the next upcoming situations. And he did go for the 1-1-4 build. So yesterday we saw what, 2 or 3 Dooms, and they went 1-4-1. So he's prioritizing. I guess in this situation because he's in a 1v1, right? Versus that bat, he can just constantly throw that, and he's gonna win the lane because of it. Since the way the nerfs of everything, of course, for people who don't know.
Matthew and Pepita are potentially looking for another target. See if they can catch Fade out. His hard backup again is inbound. Yang comes in straight away, and indeed no hesitation, dropping down that ultimate with that vision they have from the Observer Ward over the tree line. So they'll know, and their vision's there now, but still it gets them that kill. Shuts down Pepita after he moves away from mid lane looking for action.
That ward. Just getting that vision of the Mirana instantly the whole time that he was set up there. Looking for the play in mid. The Dragon form, the following one will look to take the tower with that liquid fire as well, but there's a reaction coming out. Infamous, they're bringing the gyro.
See what they can do. They've got a good cooldown onto the two of them, but again, Fade is just healing up that Dragon Knight. That's going to mean that the damage was not nearly enough by quite a bit to take down a DK as Sylar. He's back up to full health. They've got the root. Shakiro jump forward, Pepita, and they do manage to take DDC. Again, it's a lot of sort of effort from Infamous, and these cores proving very hard to be taken down.
I'm quite concerned for this Gyrocopter in this game. Just incredibly squishy. Keeps now it has to rotate as well, trying to protect that mid tower. His farm is really starting to get impacted by it. Yeah.
Got the lasso. They do have Pepita and Matthew again with the rotation. The net holding him down into the arrow, and they are doing it each and every time up top. They found sort of the target, Infamous. If they can find Yang, they have got enough control and burst to bring down the Doom when he is alone.
Now Yang does have a full drum finished up though, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult, and the higher levels of Scorch will definitely help him survive all that. And during all this, I think Freeze has just been jungling on the Lina for a bit. Arcane Boots as well as the Soul Ring.
I'll look to take this tier 1 town.
Interesting to see the Soul Ring picked up as well on the Lina. Doesn't really build into anything anymore.
No.
You've already got the Arcane Boots with the IO. I guess he just really wants to just be farming jungle for a very long time while his team makes plays without him. So I'm concerned a little bit about the Gyro on the side of Infamous, but I'm concerned quite heavily about Freeze on this Lina for now, for the side of Thunder. All the DK forms have been excellent though. Sylar claiming bottom tower pretty much as...
Look who it is again. There is backup coming in. Can they turn this around? Maybe they can with the Scorched Earth. The 6 charges, he's ready to turn and fight. They'll take Witch Doctor down, but do they have detection? No. They do not. They're not prepared for the Moonlight Shadows. Pepita is allowed to walk away.
First relocate. They even take bottom tower during that too. And I was mentioning Shylar. He very, very farmed this game. Already pretty much has the Shadow Blade finished up. So they can look for a lot of rotation plays with that relocate, with both the Dragon Knight as well as that Doom.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. 11-minute Shadow Blade.
Yeah, that's incredibly early. They are making heavy moves down bottom to punish him, though, and they have vision of him, too. Sylar, very alone.
Is there any sort of backup that can get there in time? Do a quick stun onto the Gyro, trying to disrupt his combo, but the follow-up to the homing missile stun is there with the arrow. Infamous. Catching out Sylar and taking him out.
These wards this game. This one, bottom catches this kill, and then top they got, you know, Thunder got the kill on the Mirana because of it earlier. Those small little vision gains.
Bait and freeze.
What's Stinger doing? Stinger's actually close to the Blink Dagger on Bat Rider. Freeze.
He's got to be careful. There is a lasso available, and there's the setup. Straight away, Stinger tries to drag him back, but backup is there. Laguna Blade and a quick Dragon Slave comes through. Ooh. As Stinger will be punished, as Matthew and Pepita had no interest in following up that lasso.
That turned quick.
Still a pretty close game, though, between these two teams. 8 for 8.
They've
less than 1K at the moment.
They've got the relocate ready, and the Shadow Blade right now on Sylar. We got the setup down bottom. Reload's coming in. Is Minos going to be protected? I don't think so. There's a wraparound, too.
There's a full 5-man just coming out of nowhere down to the bottom lane. He's taking a lot of damage from the Death Ward, and indeed the IO will fall. Okay. vgj.thunder will claim both of the kills that they came for, Minos being the big one.
At least they got a kill out of it, though. That's 5-man rotation while they have the other heroes farming on the map, and the Witch Doctor's able to pick up the kill on the IO. That's, I mean, you take what you can get in those situations, right?
It is, as you say, it did something to sort of slow it down, but still it's these sort of moves that are favoring vgj.thunder overall, and with the IO, it's just so much easier for them to make these plays.
Yeah.
In comparison to the sort of movements Infamous have to make as a unit across the map.
And to keep the pressure on this gyrocopter. Minos is really struggling. Do we call Minos or Kutaro? I'll just say Minos for now anyway. He's name changing.
If he wants to rise now as Minos,
I'll put him as Minos. We'll call him Minos.
Even though I'll agree, Katara Hayama is a cooler name.
Pretty cool, yeah.
Katara Hayama. I know, it's probably it's some anime, isn't it?
Yeah, it's more likely. So the invasion by Thunder, they're even putting down those deep wards, so they're watching the Ancients. So they know they shut down this gyro, they have to keep this gyro down, watch those Ancients so they can't get the farm to catch back up. And they're making a quick smoke go to the top.
Moonlight is going to be popped, but the dust is out, and Naga Siren has been caught out by the Ice Bar. It'll be a first quick kill to start the fight. They do get the lasso off. It is a good cooldown onto 3, but do they have the damage to get these kills? They're looking towards Yang, but Yang backing away with the scorch turf heal. Is it enough to keep him alive? It is. Yang will survive as DDC picks up the double kill and starts to look for more. Gyro Minos has to back out. He has been doomed. Axel popping out the paralyzing cast to try and slow down the chase from vgj.thunder. But again, it's sort of, as we're seeing the issues in terms of the damage output that Infamous have in comparison to the sustain that vgj.thunder's cores have, and especially with this Fade IO backup.
These, unbelievably tanky cores. They threw everything onto the Doom there. He tanked through it all. 1800 HP plus max Scorched Earth, and I think he had 20 stick charges as well. Able to get that sustain out.
After that fight, he's also got the money for the Blink Dagger.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's going to be very nice for them to just lead the charge. They already have, like you said, tanky frontliners. This is just going to make chaos in the fights.
Oh, they'll try an opening. Oh, Stinger will actually be able to blink over the ice path. They've got the sentry ward down. Sylar's got the backup. Fades in, takes him out. The question is if they do want to go back in. DDC's still there on the side. Do they want to try and take this? They have the Elder Dragon form. They're going to bring it back.
Looks like they do.
They do. They want to fight immediately with the stun. Some of the Siren comes out just in time to save Excel. DDC from the side, looking for the ice path, but he won't quite be able to find it. Matthew, Steve with the backup of Pepita, finding that arrow connection, takes one on the side, they get the second. Stinger will be chased by Yang, but they could be losing more. vgj.thunder, they're going to lose the third. Yang gets surrounded. Infamous taking the fight there as vgj.thunder making the mistake to try and go back in off the back of that relocate.
And where's Freeze during all that? The Lina. I think he's just farming. I mean, he's been doing it for the most part this game. He's just playing his own Dota game and getting relocated in for some situations. But yeah, he wasn't there at all. pretty intriguing to see them actually go back in there with the Dragon Knight versus pretty much all of Infamous.
They really was.
They didn't see any other heroes on the map. Like, they had the Lina pushing down bottom, they have jungle wards, so they had to have known that all of Infamous was going to be there. And Freeze will be going for the Bloodstone build, so going for more greed. Thought this game might have been a situation where you might go for the Yule Scepter, in particular versus like the Bat Rider, right? So if you get the instant blink off, you can get the Yules, and he can set up for his own relocate kills for his team, but
yeah,
just wants to be greedy.
It does feel like we don't see the Bloodstone rushes
No, not so much.
too often at all on Lina. Here we go with the Moonlight, Infamous. Starting to invade VGJ Thunder's half of the map. There is... They're not going to get that ward down themselves, but there is a ward, of course, watching them as well. So VGJ Thunder fully aware of this. And indeed won't be caught out. Freeze has already TP'd out at the bottom lane.
Yeah, they know this is happening. They're pinging him non-stop with that ward that they have. They just see Stinger positioned on that bounty room. Freeze shouldn't get caught out by this bat here, because he saw the bat as well.
What's up.
Yeah. They're going to pressure their own tower. Sylar will take that top, getting close to a BKB. I mean, this BKB timing is going to be pretty devastating. The physical damage is extremely limited right now on Infamous. They have Pepita farming pretty well, though, on the Mirana. But with that Maelstrom, sure, the attack speed from the leap is good. But he went through the 4-4-1 build instead of the 4-1-4 build that I've been seeing LGD do when they played on both Somnus as well on Chalice. They both went 4-1-4. Just for that leap attack speed bonus, those right clicks.
Again, they just
Stinger.
try for a smoke, but Infamous, they're going to be the ones to spot it at this time. The Stinger dispels it from the Firefly. He's trying to now retreat, but there's the trap. Yang controls some of the creep inside him, has the control.
Freeze secures it. Wants to get his Bloodstone as fast as possible, takes the last hit. Asking for Yang to leave that bottom wave for him. There you go. And he's got it now.
Yeah, he's got it. Let's see if they can get him involved in the fights and allow him to pick up the Bloodstone charges. They are certainly going to be looking to fight now with the DK having his completed BKB.
Yang's also going to go for that early BKB, like we were saying, just especially with a lot of these Chinese teams, it's all about that timing. You get like 1 or 2 BKBs and it's just go time. You try to take a big fight, you secure your objective, you take all your towers. It's usually between that like 20 and 26 minute mark that they get the multiple BKBs.
Minos, just about 1,300 from his own BKB. So incredibly important for him. But likewise,
he needs to go for BKB, but like it's like
a
first item BKB phase drum gyro. It feels kind of bad this game.
There's still not enough damage.
They really are going to like it.
And VGJ Thunder, they're ready to invade. The smoke swooping straight into the jungle of Infamous.
Infamous knows though.
Sylar. Can he find that opening Dragon Tower? They're coming close to that tier 2 tower, but they're back off instantly. Moonlight Shadow in response from Infamous as they make sure that it's incredibly hard for VGJ Thunder to find the angle of initiation that they would hope for.
Positioning themselves on the high ground, although it is under the vision. They place down their own obs and sentry on the low ground to try to catch this fight. But all of them are seen by Infamous. Infamous still wants to farm a little bit more. Like you said, they need the gyro to have at least that BKB so he can survive a bit in those fights.
Sylar, again moving up top. He is a little far away from the rest of his team.
They've got the reload always to bring at least 2 more people.
Sylar, he is actually going to try for this indeed. As you say, backup will be coming through. Straight away, Doom. Indeed, the Doom of the Laguna Blade thrown immediately out to Stinger will grant them a second kill incredibly quickly off the back of this. BKB is popped by Sylar as he looks like he's a little worried about any sort of further play coming through from the side. This isn't going to be the case. Down bottom, Minos trying to find Fade with the flat cannon hits, but it's not enough. Has to back away as Freeze nukes him down. But another fight that VGJ Thunder are taking. As you say, these relocate plays making it very easy for Sylar to just walk across the map
Mid
with the
as well.
Shadowblade and look for setup.
Do they have the kill? They actually have the kill on Pepita. So Sylar just walked up, Shadowblade hit into a Dragon Tail, Yang blink stun into an Infernal Blade. More than enough damage to actually kill that Mirana. Infamous getting split apart here.
They're starting to climb ahead vgj Thunder 6k advantage here, 21 minutes.
They have to find a way to be able to group up versus this IO. They have to make plays to where the IO is located. If they're split up, they're always going to get outnumbered in these situations. So I think this is their time that they have to try to make these group up moves happening. Just the BKB on the gyrocopter, they have to look for these lasso plays to the location of where the IO is. They don't want to get outnumbered in these fights. They have to have the numbers advantage. Already 6k gold advantage, and experience is pretty substantial as well. 6k gold, 10,000 experience already for Thunder.
I think a lot of that down to the fact that Freeze for a lot of the time has just been pushing out waves on his own.
Yeah, he's just been farming the majority of this game. The boots to travel,
Bloodstone. And the Soul Ring as well,
yeah,
something a little different.
Merlini definitely approves of this.
I mean, he's getting away with it. That's the thing. If you can get away with this sort of greedy build, getting the boots to travel this early, it does a lot for you.
And especially when we're mentioning that numbers advantage nonstop, right? They have the IO relocate. Now they have Lina who can participate in most of the situations as long as he has a creep to port on.
Getting those levels, he's level 15. He's got that second talent.
They're just Infamous not able to find much success with the Batrider, really. Stinger 2, 8, and 3, only be able to find like 1 or 2 lassos that have actually worked out in their favor. In other situations, he kind of baited his team into an unfortunate situation. Top, Yang, looking for Pepita.
Instantly in. Jump forward, funnel blade down, Pepita leaping himself to the side. They have got the vision with the spirits, but they can't get the stun in range in time. Freeze can't quite close the gap. So
DDC might die mid here.
See if they can find him instead. They've got the lasso. The rest of the team are coming across, but the Death Water Maledict's going to mean that DDC has no chance of getting out. DDC will still be able to finish off his Short Scepter on the Jakiro, so they'll have that ready to go when he's back out.
Wow, he's got one finished. Okay. DDC's been doing spectacular things on this Jakiro since earlier today. Getting that great farm, getting those huge ice paths as well. Bottom, Stinger. Has to be careful. The boots are coming from Freeze.
He's dead.
Oh.
Freeze.
Okay.
Very easy solo pick off for him.
And now an IO with a mech.
Absolutely.
Look at this. They're going straight for mid.
He is. Yang jumps in immediately. They don't get the stun onto the gyro. They get it onto the Witch Doctor instead. So they'll take Axel. Looks like Minos will be able to get himself away.
So what's already seemed heavily like Infamous is lacking damage. Now they have to deal with an IO with a full mech.
Now here comes the push. The Jakiro, the Elder Dragon form, the Double Dragon. It's a lot of pushing power. At this stage of the game, with the lack of damage that Infamous have, it's very hard to sort of put off. BKB on Yang as well, so he can frontline even more confidently.
Oh boy. Minos TP's into the shrine. Sylar's already on the prowl. They've got a sentry, so they do see him for a second. Minos puts down the missile.
And he's got the BKB too. He'll pop it straight away.
The net comes out
for the TP out, but indeed the net cancelling the TP of Sylar. Death Ward down as well. Sylar taking quite a beating here. Can they get the kill? Stinger's got the control with the lasso. Fade trying to keep the DK alive, but he can't quite. Sylar will still fall in this case, and Minos hiding in the trees. Can they find it with the use? They can't. Minos will survive. Infamous getting the 2 cores, Freeze and Sylar. Fade to be picked off as well by the looks of it. Axel and Pepita right-click him down. Does tether himself across the creepway, but it will not save him. Infamous keeping the gyro alive and getting some big kills out of that fight.
Sylar gets punished when looking for that one there. That sentry ward coming in clutch. Even though the IO comes through with that mech, it's not enough heal to counteract all that Maledict damage once that BKB is down from that Dragon Knight. I mean, Infamous needs a lot more of those, though.
Sure. Still a 10k lead for Thunder.
Yeah, still quite a lot. And they're always on the back foot. They're unable to make their own aggressive plays. They're always reacting to all the moves from Thunder. Speaking of reacting, Pepita top.
He's got the Moonlight. Yang himself, no detection at the moment. 4-star picked up for Stinger. You have the Orchid now complete for Sylar's DK. So that extra bit of control once he is able to find the initiation with that Shadow Blade, and also something to help him pop through the Lincolns of Pepita. As we'll see this fight again up top. Sylar getting a little greedy with the BKB and TP underneath their noses, as Matthew was going to be there every time with the root.
Netted and isolated. See, the mech comes through, but it's not quite enough. They have everything hitting him on top of that death ward with Maladin. Just, what was it, 12 HP or something, and ends up surviving on the gyrocopter.
Freeze just couldn't get that last spell out through the tree line because the paralyzing cast bounces, cancelling his animation each and every time.
Now Roche.
Infamous.
Looking to pick the fight first. Sylar gets lasso.
He does immediately. Sylar just walks forward. They do the ice path onto 2. They're looking to try and take this fight. Cooldown comes out, but it's really doing no damage to Thunder. They've got the BKBs. They'll stand their ground, take down Minos, look towards Pepito, who is able to jump up to the high ground. Ice path won't connect. Laguna's out to Stinger, but he's still healthy enough to continue flying himself back to safety. But again, it really feels you just see sort of the lack of impact a Gyro has at this stage of the game against this sort of tanky lineup.
When you're this far behind, when you got pressure so much, just 0-4-8 Gyro.
Now they're ready to look for more Thunder. Jumping in, catching out Matthew, chasing down Excel. They just can't fight around the pit, Infamous, as much as they want to.
I mean, they both of the tanky cores run in, pop the BKB, and they are definitely not going to die when they're all grouped up together versus this Infamous lineup right now.
Maybe Stinger can go for a sweep play. He's hovering around the high ground. He's got the Firefly. Sylar finishing off Roche as quick as he can, and it looks like Stinger will not be able to get himself across. Thunder secure Roche and the Aegis. This is 23 to 16, but a 13k gold lead. As this game gets harder and harder for Infamous to swing round.
It's just so hard to take the fights. There's these tanky cores with the IO backup. They've got a lot of AoE control as well, and Thunder coming out from that Jakiro, and every single situation too. Yang with this early lead that he had on this Doom, he just blinks in. He's gonna get the Doom on one of those big cores.
Once he has a Shiva's guard.
Yeah.
Very unlikely that Yang will fall in these fights.
Yeah, I mean, Infamous needs absolutely everything to go perfect in these fights, and they're always the ones getting jumped on.
I mean, it really does feel like they've just got to get that damage out of Minos, but with his build, BKB, Lincoln Sphere, that damage is not going to come out from him anytime soon.
Feels like a Lincoln's into Rapier if he's going to go for something like that.
I feel like he has to. It's absolutely going to get to that point, because with the BKB and Lincoln's, sure, he may not die in the fights, but he's still barely going to tickle them.
Yep. So Gem has been picked up by Thunder. They're looking to control that map, because Infamous has actually done a pretty good job of keeping the wards down and keeping tabs on where Thunder is making that aggression, but not going to happen any longer now. They're going to go scout those out. Spot 1. And they're constantly keeping, I mean, of course, it's with an IO, but they're always constantly keeping like 2 or 3 heroes on one side and then the IO paired up with someone else, so they're looking to take those fights and always have the number advantage. Infamous just trying to find anywhere to farm.
Freeze is finding everywhere to farm.
Yeah.
Top net worth.
And now it's level 15 IO, so that Aghanim's tether bonus.
Oh, goodness.
They will have it for that Lina as well, for that pure damage with Lina. They've got some pretty cool ones, right? The Doom as well can be nice if he throws it out while he's tethered. Jakiro too, some very long duration macro pyre. For the most part, he'll be sticking with the Lina though, and Stinger actually just got Yuled comboed by the Jakiro. Not even, actually just got sunned and top. Minos.
They're gonna get him. Straight on top of it.
That was actually just like 3/4 of his health down from just the Laguna.
And they're jumping in on it as well. There's the setup immediately with Doom from Yang. BKB's popped, he doesn't even care. He's running straight underneath the tier 4s. Taking the attention of Pepito and Excel away from the tier 4 push. The fortification will come out.
He actually turned back into them too for a second, just being like, hey, I got a plate mail. You actually do not hurt me.
They're just too big and too tanky. 3 dead at the moment on Infamous, as they are going to have to try and form some sort of a defense against this 5-man push from vgj Thunder. Fortification will buy them some time, but tier 3 will still fall with the power of Freeze pummeling into it with those fiery soul stacks. 3,500 gold now built up again on Freeze's Lina.
They've all got a crazy amount now from that. They pretty much have the Shivas finished. DDC has a new item if he wants to on the Jakiro as well. The Bloodthorn if DK wants, so a lot of luxury items coming out now. Infamous just doesn't feel like they really have a good foot in this game at all. The Bow Rider just still continuing to absolutely be able to find none of these pickoffs because they always can just relocate. They can always outnumber even if they look for the kills. 2 and 11 on Stinger.
It is a 20k lead.
Yeah.
They're just getting so much more out of the map, VGJ Thunder, in comparison to what Infamous are able to find.
Oh, Infamous. Pepita's trying to keep up. He's got the Mjolnir now finished on the Mirana with that Lincoln, so his damage is decent if it's not under one of the BKB targets, but it's probably going to be one of those BKB targets that he's hitting in those situations.
Can I really just feel this game where it really feels like Minos, he can't do anything on the Jaren.
No, he really can't.
He's far too far behind. Lincoln Sphere, he's still trying to climb towards.
And even if he gets it, right, what's that really going to do? It
doesn't really change anything.
He might not get doomed, but he might still get doomed because they've got ways to break it. Doesn't really add too much for his damage or in those fights. And the full map control continues to be in Thunder's favor. They're looking to try to catch something on their vision here. Sylar leading the charge.
Oh, and he's found Pepita. Pepita will get stunned up. Yang jumps in, Ice Barf's down. Pepita gets surrounded and he's gone. Stinger gets the lasso, but what does it matter? There's no follow-up. The physical is too much as Lina punches into him. Freeze picking up the kill. 2 dead now on Infamous, and neither have buyback available. As Thunder are straight up to the high ground, look to take the racks. And with the tier 2s already gone on both side lanes, maybe even more. And Freeze heads forward. Can't quite get the stun onto Minos, but Minos is just having to keep himself right back away from this siege. As VGJ Thunder just rotate down towards the bottom lane, there is nothing that Infamous can do to stop this.
Yeah, they can't do anything here. Even if they had their 5-man lineup, Thunder still has everything. Sure, the Dragon form is ending, but they still have their Doom. They're still all full HP, full mana as well. They've got the whole arsenal. With that DK form wearing off, though, they're going to back up, reset, not let Infamous have any chance in this game, and continue that lead. 27k gold lead as 30k experience lead. And oh, Infamous, how they can't.
It's 27k. It's 2 sets of racks.
Yeah.
Maybe the dream being as well. We saw that 99% chance that Thunder will be able to take this. But
Cue up those rapiers.
It is the rapiers that they need. Minos.
Even then, though,
even then, it's
they're so tanky.
And Minos is so burstable.
Yeah.
With the amount of magical nuke they have, if they can get us over. There's a Bloodthorn on Sylar,
and
Silver
even pure
Edge as
damage.
well.
Even the pure. So even if he has the BKB, the Laguna, if he's tethered from the IO, will have that aspect. And Freeze is already becoming a full right-clickering as well.
Oh,
has a
absolutely.
Crystallis on top of the Hurricane Pike too, so keeping that distance away, we'll be able to just pummel down that gyro. The Lincoln's is finished though. So
He's got the Lincolns.
Cue up the rapier.
6,200 gold to go.
Cue up the rapier.
And they may have a chance. Pepita, mid lane, he's dead. Or maybe not the song.
Matthew gets it off.
All right, he'll live to see another day.
Oh, to relocate though, Matthew. I don't think he'll be so lucky.
Matthew won't indeed. Bam! Freeze.
No mercy.
Firing his laser.
Can they catch Stinger too?
Yes, they can.
Oh, yeah.
Jump forward. There's the combo. The amount of lockdown they have is too much for Infamous to deal with. 2 down. The last 3 backing away, but VGJ Thunder have all the space and time in the world to do what they want. They can push lanes, they can push towers, they can push racks.
I just learned that you can deny your own missile.
Oh.
I had a feeling that you could, but he just did it right in front of the arena.
There we go.
Nice. And they will turn in this push to the top.
And
Sun
he's straight in. That's a dead Witch Doctor. Mirana having to keep herself back to the fountain as well. And there's GG. VGJ Thunder taking game 1 pretty convincingly as well. It was a slow start, a punished start for Minos' Gyro, as he was unable to do anything in this game, as Thunder just took control of the entire map from pretty much 15 minutes onwards.
Yeah, I mean, Freeze farmed for...
He got away with going Bloodstone
for
bots.
the whole time. Yeah, I mean, he
didn't
farmed
get
for
punished.
the first like 15 minutes of the game. He went Soul Ring, Arcane Boots. He just sat in the jungle and pushed out lanes while his team was looking to pick fights. With that Dragon Knight getting, what, the 11 or 12-minute Shadow Blade, they could set up the relocates all over the place, and having these tanky cores just leading the charge. Infamous, they seem to really lack the direction, though, in this mid-game. I mean, Stinger had 13 deaths on the Batrider this game.
He had a tough time, that's for sure. He was constantly, finding the lassos, but each and every time there just really wasn't that sort of wham bam follow up from the team. They just weren't in position. Stinger was going in alone, and bam, Thunder taking a very strong, very strong game 1 lead here. I mean, in terms of going into the game 2, Infamous, are we going to see them sort of stray away from this gyro lineup? Do they have to play differently, or do you take something away from Thunder off the back of this performance?
I mean, you probably want to take out the IO number 1, and number 2, I mean, Batrider, we've been seeing the decline of this hero for the most part. Sure, this game was probably a really hard example for him getting outnumbered constantly, but I mean, they really need to fix their mid game. Their laning phase looked okay, but it was after that they seem to have no direction.
Well, we'll see as we'll find out if indeed that IO does get taken away from vgj Thunder in game 2. But game 1, a very convincing start to the series for vgj Thunder. Back to you guys on the panel.
Yep, you're not wrong. Thanks, Owen. Of course, we'll come back to our commentary pair for game number 2 very shortly. As we head to that, we're going to wrap things up. LGD didn't win that one, nor did Infamous. So only one of the panel members was right. And it was Suns fan. Well done.
I mean, look, thank you so much, guys. This means so much to me.
Do you want to do a fully accepted speech?
Yes.
Do you want to thank your mother and father? And
you know, before we get into the game, I do have to say, from Infamous' side, I actually like the strategy they went with, because I mean, I think we can all agree they're probably undermatched in terms of like team versus team, like just looking from the outside.
Level.
Yeah.
But taking a strat that you know you can try to execute, right? You have Song, you have air. Just easy setups like that can really help snowball. It obviously didn't work for them, but I like the idea behind it, and I'm hoping that they can have a better showing game too.
Black, you asked a very important question as we came back to the panel, having watched it in the green room, and that was, where was Jukiro in this game? Where was the Naga in this game? And they're kind of facetious questions, but it's true. They weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing in this game.
Yeah, it was very weird, because I looked at the laning phase, and obviously DK struggled a lot more than he should have against Mirana, in my opinion. But this Batrider, for me, I said he has a free game, right? But instead he struggled like harder than any game we have ever seen in this tournament here. And I was like really shocked about that, because he was the game winner for them, and he actually didn't deliver at all.
I don't think you can put your game on your Batrider these days.
But the thing is, if you last pick a Batrider, you have to have impact, right?
Yep.
But the only thing he did was like not have impact.
Isn't that one of those classic cases, Trent, where the hero makes sense in the sense of how it complements the draft and what they needed and everything else, but the hero just isn't delivering right now in the meta?
A little bit of that, and also just like, it is a tough to execute too. It's just one of the harder ones, like overall. It has to be a complete team effort. You need, and Bat can't do it on his own. He can't just like show up and kill somebody. He needs certain teammates with him, and you're trying to do that on timing with certain rotations, and you're trying to do that maybe around an objective to then secure something, so you're getting something out of this lasso. Like, sure, pickoff's great and everything, but you saw that Shadow Blade came out from Sylar, and then they're just initiating across the map, and oh, who's there? It's IO +1. What fun games of Dota 2 when you have to worry about that global presence all the time.
Well, we can talk about that to death, right?
I know.
Why IO is available in that draft, I do not know.
No one knows.
Isn't that the first question?
Yes,
For Infamous,
100%.
do they not just go, okay, guys, we thought we could play it against it, but actually it turns out we can't, and therefore get rid of it, ban it first?
I feel like we've seen so many teams just like, oh, we know they're going to pick IO, but we have a plan for it. And guess what? It doesn't work. Whatever it is, it doesn't work. All right?
Yeah.
The only thing that will work is Ice Frog nerfing this hero, apparently.
But if you're going to try something that you think, you've theory crafted and you think, oh, this could work, the time to do it is in the first game of a best of 3, right?
Sure.
So at least that's done, and there's still hope of getting through and still winning the match.
Yeah. No, that's a good mindset to have, I think. I think from any team perspective, you go into the first game. Obviously, if you think you're the underdog as well, you have a lot of different mentality, right, going into the game. So anything you can find to create a little bit of momentum on your side would be a good thing. But did not work out in game 1.
Didn't work out for them. Did work out for vgj Thunder. Plenty of decent scores on the board there. Take your pick, actually. It's quite nicely spread across the team. 16 assists on Yang, 17 on Silas, 16 on Fade, and all in single kills as well.
I mean, we've been talking about how buff Pepita is as well.
Yeah.
And this was a situation, in terms of in the game, he was trying to carry, man. He had this heavy damage. The Mirana was looking pretty good leading up to that, like, early, kind of mid-game. Maybe there's a chance, but I feel like Mirana is just still a difficult hero to really rally around unless you have a lot of good setups, and they didn't find those song arrows.
You saw it right there. He had the highest damage out of anyone in the game, and he definitely tried very hard. He even did way better in lane than he should have, but can't do it alone. Gotta get some backup, boys.
Yeah, this Marana, though, is seemingly
That
all
was
right.
not an LGD Marana. I can tell you that because they weren't in that game.
Good. So, no, they weren't in that game. I'm glad you spotted that.
Yeah,
through
thank you.
Was that what, around the 20-minute mark?
Somewhere around there,
okay,
yeah.
All right. Just, my tip would be don't back LGD for game 2.
Okay, good idea.
Because you're going to be wrong.
Solid advice.
If somebody's
Hey,
keeping
they
track
won't
of these.
lose.
That's
that
true.
I can promise you.
Yeah, they definitely won't be losing the second game. That's absolutely for certain. As we look forward to that second game, vgj Thunder obviously, with that game in hand now, they've got the ability to play around a little bit if they wanted to in the draft, or do you feel like they don't need to?
I think with a team like this, especially ones that are right on the cusp of the DPC points, you don't take any chances at this point. You get your quote-unquote free ticket to the top 8 if you can. Go as far as you can in the upper bracket. And what is it? At what point do they actually confirm that they make it to TI? Is it
vgj Thunder?
Yeah, is it based off of somebody not making it more than anything?
They're in 8th right now, so effectively, if TNC go out
TNC and
before they
Optic,
finish the top
right?
4, Optic don't reach the top 4, they're definitely through.
Final Tribe.
All of those,
Final Tribe
have to win the whole thing.
For when they win.
Final Tribe have to win the whole thing.
Dude, Era's legit.
Optic have to finish top 4, TNC have to win the whole thing. So if any of those 3 things, all of those 3 things don't happen, they're guaranteed regardless of whether they finish last or first. So I think it's in their hands. That's the point.
Yeah,
they
win
are
some
in that
games.
place, and they can maybe they can get top 4, and then it doesn't even matter anymore because once they get points, it makes it much harder for everyone else.
You never want to lose.
Make someone else sweat.
Well, newbie would be next on the chopping block. I don't want to be down there either, and that would take a monumental thing to happen with those 3 teams all making it into the top 4, but we'll see. Time takes a break right now, and when we come back, we will have game number 2 between these 2 teams. Infamous find themselves a game down against vgj Thunder, but we know they've got plenty of fight in them. That South American grit will be all evident when we come back for game 2's draft.